Fun. Hello there, everybody. My name is Michael Gray. I am a staff writer for GameCola.net.
And my name is Diana Gray. I am the former writer of Turnabout Cola.
And we're not related, by the way.
Not related.
No, we're not related. I know everybody's going to ask that. Our last name is Gray, but I mean, she's in a horrible place called Southern California, whereas I'm in a beautiful place called Northern California.
It's not that horrible. We have Disneyland.
Oh, okay, fine. You have Disneyland, but you also have Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, isn't there a lot of smog and stuff? Horrible weather? Actually, no. See, Southern California is where you can go if you want to go surfing.
Yeah, I went to the beach yesterday.
Yeah, Northern California, our beaches are not for surfing. So we're getting off to a great start here.
Oh my god.
Well, see, I need you on the Game Cola podcast, because on the Game Cola podcast, we sometimes debate whether the West Coast is better than the East Coast.
The West Coast is definitely better than the East Coast.
West Coast is best coast.
Yeah. It rhymes, therefore it's true.
Yeah. So what are we playing today?
We are playing Law and Order Legacies, Episode 2, which is pretty exciting.
Episode 2, Home to Roost. So
Yeah.
You did see Episode 1, right?
Yes, I played Episode 1.
You played Episode 1, is that because
I
it was
did.
free?
Probably, yes.
Probably.
I want to buy the rest of them, I just have no money. So I gotta
you're
wait.
forcing me, the person who's actually paid for these games, to have you play along.
Exactly.
Okay, so Episode 1 takes place in, like, 2002, present day. No, wait. 2012, present day. Yeah, 2002 is not present day. And you know, like in 6 months or something, that comment is going to be completely out of date anyway,
Yeah.
so let's just forget about it.
It doesn't matter.
This case takes place in 1999, so this is a flashback case.
Okay.
So this is when Ray Curtis was a rookie cop, instead of being, you know, the cool, I don't know what you call it, in charge. He's a cool cop now, but now he's a rookie in this case. And he's working with Lennie Briscoe, so let's start. Checking for updates. Oh, Telltale, really? Really, Telltale?
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate
Can
and
you hear
equally
that?
important groups.
Uh-huh.
The
Okay,
police
good.
who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the
I
offenders.
can read it out
These
loud
are
if
their
you want.
stories.
These are their stories. Dun dun.
Coming, sweetie. Shh. Mommy's here, Noah.
Oh no. All of a sudden, I'm really
Neil?
disliking this game for having a higher resolution than the iPad,
That
because
you?
I can actually
Yeah.
see the blood
Oh.
smears here. On the iPad, those were not visible. So, somebody has been killed, which is usually the case in Law and Order, and we
Did
get
you
to
see
solve the murder
anything when you
mystery.
opened the door? Anybody on the street? A car?
No, nothing at all. At first I thought it was some kind of prank, but then I looked down and saw Neil.
Okay. Yeah, that's all the questions for now.
Some prank.
Yeah, well, sounds like he was a real cut-up.
So, I'm not sure if I mentioned I mentioned this to you earlier, but this is the best case in the entire series because it's
Really?
a flashback and it has the best character ever. We have the chief prosecutor, we'll see him in a moment.
That's exciting.
It's sort of like if you played Phoenix Wright, you know Lana Skye? Here he is right here, Adam Schiff.
He's pretty cool.
He is the chief prosecutor, and he's basically the best character ever. He wasn't in episode
that,
1, but he's
goulash?
in this
Get it out of
episode,
here,
which
Ray,
is
for
why
God's
this
sake.
episode
What's
is
the matter?
awesome.
Doesn't smell too bad to me.
Awesome.
No, it smells too good.
You'll have to
Sounds
wait a
good.
little
On a
bit.
health
Yeah,
food diet.
we'll have
She's
to wait a
got
bit
this
before we see
crazy
him.
idea
'cause
high blood pressure's a bad thing.
We're in the
Sounds
law
like a real
part of
nut.
Law and Order.
I'd give it 3
and,
weeks.
you know, obviously he's the
Diet or
prosecutor.
Julia?
Both.
So he's in the order
Roger
part.
just dropped off the
Yeah.
report on Neil Jenson. Exsanguination.
Poor guy bled to death.
Well, that would explain all the red stuff.
Lieutenant Van Buren can supply valuable information. Okay, these mouse controls are a little bit slow, but I think that's because this is an iPad game originally. What do
Yeah.
you want to talk about?
I'm gonna have to go with victim's wounds. I think.
Victim's wounds for 200.
How many guns are we talking about?
Over a dozen, but most of them are superficial. Victim bled out from a deep laceration to the femoral artery.
Do the wounds match the cause of death?
Yes.
Yes, aren't we getting a star? Yeah, correct. Wonder what went on there. Okay, how does it match?
Exsanguination or fatal loss of blood.
Alright,
First one.
thank you. You brought your
Extermination or
dictionary.
death by dying.
You definitely brought your dictionary.
Yeah.
And we got a star. Good job, detective. She can reveal more information about the murder. Okay, what do you want to talk about now? Time of death or the murder weapon?
Let's do time of death.
We're going to talk about both of them, so it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
that doesn't really matter.
4:17 a.m. Apparently, the guy was
Might
still
as well do it in
alive when his
order.
wife found him, but just
Mhm.
barely. Blood trail leads down to the curb, then disappears.
Well, at least he got to die at home. When did he get wounded?
Around 2.
Slow bleeder.
Well, we've all got problems.
So, did he die instantly?
No, it said he got wounded at 2, but he didn't die until 4 when he got home.
So, what do we do?
It took 2 hours because he got injured at 2 and he died at 4.
Alright.
Some of these are
Brought her
ridiculous.
dictionary and her calculator, and I'm talking over you. I've got to stop that.
That's okay.
I'm worried that my voice will come out louder than yours just because we're recording on my computer. I don't know how loud I am
What do we
on
know
your
about the
computer,
weapon? Switchblade,
or
maybe?
headphones, or
Here,
whatever.
yeah.
Fine.
Here, we're good.
Roger says it was curved, like a scythe.
Our victim was done
Wait,
in
they
by a
spelled
midget
Rogers
grim
with a
reaper.
D previously.
I just noticed that.
That's a continuity error! Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't like continuity errors. You're going to die if you keep playing this series with me, because the Preppy Joggers case, which is the big final case,
Uh-huh.
the way they spell Preppy varies from episode to episode.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it ends with a Y, sometimes it ends with an IE, and I'm like, guys, this is the final case of the game, super important final case, at least get the name right.
Oh.
Oh well, physical evidence.
Oh,
Anything we can use to
we'll worry about that when we
No
get there.
fingerprints. But it appears
like
some
this
of the
game,
blood
though.
on Jensen's clothes
Yeah, we like this game.
wasn't his own.
Our victim got in a few good jabs before he went down, huh?
It's just the
What does
person
the
who does
lab
the
have to say?
subtitles just
Results aren't
needs
back
to
yet.
work
Any
harder.
minute now.
Yeah.
So, Ray and Lennie are
Van
gonna
Buren.
look at each other all the
Uh-huh.
time. Like, I mean, right here, there should be
Really?
a space in between Van and Buren.
How do they...
Like there is
Yeah,
with
because
the
there's a space
subtitle
right
underneath.
there, and there's not a space right next to it.
Elliptical and nucleated. Got it. Well, let us know if you find out anything else. That was the lab.
Elliptical and nucleated?
The red blood cells? Turns out it's not human. It's bird blood.
What kind of bird?
A dead one, I'm guessing.
Our victim was stabbed with a pelican.
Alright, so that's our wrap up. We finished the scene.
Yay.
As I was trying to say in that scene, Ray Curtis and Lennie Briscoe, the two partners, are going to spend an awful lot of time just staring at each other. They'll just look at each other and then look at something else. I'll point this out every time it happens, but I mean, they are just in sync with each other.
Alright.
Hold off a minute, Lennie. I got something here.
What?
The Jenson's nanny. She's waiting to catch a bus, but I don't see it coming yet.
Then let's not waste any time.
Mind if we ask you a few questions?
Alright, so what should we talk about?
Let's do alibi.
Where were you Wednesday morning at 2 a.m.?
In bed. Where else?
Here?
I only work days. I live in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Check with my parents if you don't believe me.
Is that a plausible alibi? Or are you doing something? I can wait.
No, sorry, my parents are just talking in the background.
Oh, okay. Are they talking about their alibi? Or are they trying to confirm this woman's alibi? Because we have to ask the parents.
Yeah.
Yes, it's plausible because we can confirm with
Check
the
with the
parents.
parents.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of interesting because in the previous episode, we had a character who lives with his parents, and they made a lot of fun of him. There were so many, he's a loser because he lives with his parents jokes.
I liked that guy. He was funny.
Yeah, but we don't make fun of this woman because she lives with her parents.
No.
Because that's not funny at all.
No.
Did you know Neil Jenson very well?
You mean, were we lovers?
That wasn't where I was going.
But since you brought the
Yeah,
subject
sort of
up,
jumping the gun there.
He was
Yeah.
my employer, that's all. I liked him,
I think
though.
they did that in the
We
first
had
game,
a lot
too.
of good talks. He was interested
yeah.
in stuff, you know? Ideas. He was
Yeah,
really
they were like,
interested when
okay,
he
well,
found out I was
what was the
Wiccan.
victim's relationship
Like
to the
to
people
ask
at her
questions.
area of employment? She's like, oh, are you saying she's a prostitute? It's like, whoa. Insanity. Okay, I was too busy talking to pay
Yeah, I know.
attention.
I didn't see what did they say?
Okay. Does this rule her out as a suspect? The fact that she was not sleeping with the victim?
No.
Why can't we rule her out just yet? It's
Hey.
number one. We
Yeah,
haven't
so I
had
was
time
gonna
to
say I
check
haven't
her
had time to
alibi.
check.
I thought it
The
was
bottom
because...
one threw me off.
Yeah. I thought it was because people from Bedford Stuyvesant pronounced Sty. Wow. It's not pronounced the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
Oh well. Jensen's marriage?
Yeah.
how did Mr. and Mrs. Jensen get along? Did they fight?
All married couples fight sometimes, I guess. I don't plan to get married myself.
I used to say that too.
Yeah, I said it a bunch. Yeah, never did me any good.
But not everybody fights in front of the nanny.
Should we press the topic further?
Yes. If you learn
Why?
nothing else from.
The nanny is cute and we plan on getting married to her.
Definitely. No. That'd be dumb.
Oh, okay, fine. Number
Fighting in
4.
front of the nanny. The last one. Although that could be true. First
Well,
one.
I think both of these characters are married, right? Didn't they just
Is
say
Ray
that
married?
they were both married?
I don't know if
Curtis-
Ray's married.
Ray is married and Lennie is married. They're both married,
Okay.
so, you know, I guess they shouldn't be flirting with nannies.
Yeah.
Okay, if we talk about Wiccans, that is a red herring. So let's talk about fighting.
Stop
What
Fighting
did
in
Mr.
front
and
of the
Mrs.
nanny.
Jensen fight about when they fought?
The usual. Money. I guess he was better at spending it than making it, and new babies cost a lot. He was pretty pissed when she cut off his allowance.
Allowance? How old was he, 12?
Hey, don't tell her I told you that. I want the nice as it is.
I think this woman does the voice of Trixie in the Back to the Future series.
I think so too. It sounds like her. Look that up later.
Well, we can look it up just right now.
Oh yeah, we could look it up right now.
Yeah, but could there be trouble in the Jensen's marriage? Yes.
Yes.
At least fiscal troubles. If they're fighting in front of the nanny. Okay, what is not supported by the nanny's words?
I think it's they thought about the baby. Because they know.
The baby was not mentioned.
Yeah. Other than saying that it costs a lot.
Which is true.
Here's my bus.
That is
Gotta
true.
run.
We got all we need out of her. Come on, let's talk to the widow.
Okay, and that's it. That's it for this scene. We got a perfect score once again. Now let's take a break in order to look up who did the voices.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, we looked it up on imdb.com, and they only have about 5 of the voices from this series listed. And the nanny was not among them, so we don't know who does the voice of the nanny. Who was listed, Diana?
Adam was listed, which we were very excited about.
Yeah, he's the only main character who was actually listed.
Yeah. The rest just had like generic names like defense attorney and judge.
Well, also Abby Carmichael.
And Abby was listed too.
She might be the second best lawyer in this case.
Because I haven't gotten to Adam yet, I'm saying that she's my favorite right now.
I'm sorry I wasn't much help to you last night.
We quite understand, Mrs. Jensen.
She's the only one
You've
we've
been through
seen,
a terrible
so,
shock.
yeah.
Please call me Ellie.
I saw that other
I
guy.
apologize
Got her,
again in
yeah.
advance.
Yeah,
I'm going to
okay.
have to cut it short when Noah wakes up at 3:55.
You've got him on a schedule?
It's the other way around. Wait and see. You could set your watch by him.
Okay, so what should we talk about?
Let's go for Neil and money because they said they were fighting.
And speaking of grammatical issues, I know this will probably annoy every single one of our listeners, but because both of us are writers, this bugs us. Why is history not capitalized when
I know.
clearly all
Everything
the other
else is capitalized. I was just about to say that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, what did you say?
Let's do Neil and money.
Neil and money.
That one.
Your husband was a writer.
Oh, maybe I've read some of his work.
I doubt it. I didn't mean that the way it
Aw,
sounds.
he's sad.
You don't by any chance subscribe to the Metamodernist Quarterly.
Oh, this is clearly
So
the same
your
woman who
husband
does
wasn't
Abby.
about to become the next John Grisham.
Wasn't that difficult for you? I mean, him not bringing in a regular income?
We got by. I believed in my husband's work, Detective, and thankfully my income was sufficient to support both of us comfortably. I'm principal at PS 84.
As I said there, I'm pretty sure this has to be the same woman who does Abby's voice, because her voice cracked just like Abby's does.
I haven't played first case in a while, so I don't really remember.
It might be
But
kind of insulting to say that her voice cracked, but she's like, that's not exact. I don't know if the character talks like that on the show, though. It could be just a really good impression.
I have no idea.
Wasn't there some TV show where we had a lawyer with like a whiny voice, which was really, really popular? You haven't watched too many TV shows about lawyers, have you?
Nope, not about lawyers.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thinking of one where it's specifically just a lawyer.
Yeah, no, I can't think of it.
Although clearly I don't know the show because I don't know.
I don't know this show either, so it's okay.
Topics.
Yeah.
No, let's not be on topic. Let's talk about TV shows. Have you seen the Law and Order series?
I have seen one full episode when I was on vacation once. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just sit. It was like right after I got this game, too. And I was like, oh, I'll just sit down and watch this. And I saw Olivia Benson. And I think that was the only character that I recognized.
Really? Because I've seen an episode with her in it, and it did not look like Olivia Benson in this game.
I didn't realize it was her until they said her name.
Okay,
I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess that's Olivia Benson.
Well, I think she's the star of, like, Special Victims Unit. That's the
I think
point.
she is. I think it was Special Victims Unit that I ended up watching.
Yeah, but this episode is, like, the classic series, because it's a flashback case from 1999, so... What should we talk about?
Let's do missing personal item because it's on top. I like going in
been
order.
missing anything when you found him? Any valuable personal items?
His wallet,
Was on him. $8 and a MasterCard.
his Rolex.
Have we heard anything about a Rolex before this moment?
No,
Good job, Diana.
thank you.
You're much better
No
than
Rolex on the body.
Paul. Not
I
to
gave it
insult
to him
Paul,
on
but
our
you
10-year
would have
anniversary.
had to think
It's
about that
engraved.
for a while.
Don't always
Insult
were.
Paul.
We never insult Paul, although I'm a little jealous he won the best beard competition.
Sorry.
Just because I'm clean shaven, I was trying to win the mustache division.
Well, maybe I'm doing a sequel, so we'll if you want, I can put that in there.
Well, fun fact, in real life, I entered a beard competition once, believe it or not, and I won the mustache division because the other contestant was disqualified for having a goatee.
That's
like,
awesome.
Wait a minute, you should be in the goatee division. So I won by default, even though I really didn't have a mustache, and I just sort of went in as a joke. Like, hey, I'm gonna enter in the mustache competition, even though I don't have a mustache.
That's great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That is awesome.
So, Neil and the nanny.
Okay.
Your nanny.
Ada Marie Velasquez.
This may be an
Oh, that's where they
indelicate
say her
question, but your
Uh-huh.
husband never...
Neil liked to flirt, but he wasn't a cheater.
You're sure?
I know what goes on in my house. I'm sure of that. And I installed a nanny cam to make extra sure.
So she was kind of worried about her husband cheating on her with the nanny.
Yeah.
A nanny cam? Okay, let's talk
Anything
about
you can
history.
tell me about your husband's background?
He had a poker problem in college when I first knew him. Junior year, I had to cover his student fees because he'd gambled away the money his parents gave him. Of course, that was 15 years ago, but I worried maybe he was falling back into old habits.
Not much to say here. What do you want to talk about? Where was he last night?
Do you know where your husband went last night?
I have no idea. He left the house around 9, said he'd be back late, and I shouldn't worry.
But you did.
Of course, but no more than usual. This was par for the course for Neil. When he's working on a new story, he'll go off on research expeditions. Often at strange hours, sometimes for days at a time, and he never talks about it till he has a rough draft on paper. Doesn't want anyone to influence his thought process.
Diana, we talked about writing. Are you one of those writers that refuses to let anybody read something until you're completely finished with it?
It depends on what I'm writing, really. I have the 2 people who share my fan fiction account with me. They kind of read stuff before I post it, tell me what they think of it. And sometimes I'll send stuff out, but if it's just something regular, I usually don't let anybody see it.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm thinking more like, what's his face? Louis Sacker, who, you know, wrote Holes and the Wayside School books, and he is just, like, super secretive and refuses to talk about the book he's writing until he's finished.
I didn't know that.
And that's why we never hear anything from him until, you know, he only shows up, like, every 4 years or so, because he refuses to ever talk about his current project.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked it up one day and I'm like, why haven't I heard anything about him for a while? What is he writing? I was kind of hoping he would go back into comedy, but no, he's a serious writer and he never tells jokes anymore.
Oh.
Oh, well. So does her statement contradict the time of death?
Wait, what did she say again?
Well, I mean, as for me,
Yeah, what about you?
I think usually with, like, fanfiction.net or something like that, where you post, like, a chapter at a time, you know, it's impossible for me to write the entire thing, you know, and
no, I can't do that.
Yeah, no, it's like, okay, well, I write a chapter at a time, so then people actually read chapters before I finish writing them. But as for, like, articles for Game Cola, there's really no convenient way to have people read them. I wouldn't mind having a proofreader, but it goes through the editors anyway, so, I mean, I guess the editor technically reads them and changes them before they get posted to the site.
Yeah.
And it bugs me when the editors make stupid decisions like change the title of my article. Which has happened in the past and will probably happen in the future. They probably know what titles are better, you know, which seem more interesting. Okay, so she said he left at 9 o'clock, which was not on the thing which I was just reading, but I know that.
Yeah,
she said he left at 9 o'clock. Contradicts the time of death?
I don't think so.
Because he died at 2.
Yeah.
Well, he died at 4, but
he died at 4, but he was
2.
injured at 2.
Wow, we're only like 2/6 of the way through this conversation. Okay. Here.
He died at 4 a.m., yeah.
So now I can kind of see the pictures in the background. It looks like a map of New York.
I think it is, because I keep seeing the Bronx.
And that's somewhere in New York, right?
Yeah.
That's the place where people have accents. I think everybody in New York probably has, like, a New York accent.
Probably.
We heard something about you cutting off your husband's allowance.
No.
Do we believe her?
No.
Correct. Why not?
because the nanny, whose name we just found out, said she got off her allowance, or his allowance.
Yeah, the Bronx, Hudson River, Manhattan.
Who told you that? Ada Marie?
We're not at liberty to divulge.
There's no
She's
apostrophe
alluding
there.
to the fact
Oh,
that I
it's
took
gone.
Neil's name off the savings account last week. I didn't
That bothered
enjoy
me.
doing it, but
Yes.
when Neil was in research mode, he spent money. Well, recklessly. He'd get so caught up in his work, prudence would go out the window. I used to put up with it, but new babies are expensive.
See, this is why Telltale should have hired me when I sent in my job application to them.
Because you could proofread for them.
Yeah, well, I wasn't applying for a proofreader position. They were hiring for a writer position and a couple of other things, and I
Oh.
thought, hey, I could work on the storyboard, help people out. I thought that would be fun, but they turned
Yeah.
me down.
Oh.
Oh, well. I should have sent in something serious, though. I sent in, like, a comedy work, which was, a licensed comedy work, so it was based off, like, Disneyland.
Any idea what Mr. Jensen wasted your money on?
God knows. Like I said, he was very closed-mouthed about his research expeditions.
Do we believe her?
She probably knows what he spent his money on, so no.
She is in charge of his,
Yeah. Allowance.
Yeah. The nanny was blackmailing Neil. Now, see, that could be an interesting plotline.
Yeah, that would be a great plotline. That his gambling habits were back.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on him.
Be honest.
Any chance it was something illegal? Drugs, gambling, or maybe he was being blackmailed? What's that noise?
Our chickens. Henny, Penny, and Maxine.
Hey, they looked at
You've
each
never
other.
seen chickens in New York?
Oh, there you go.
Sure, but they usually come with biscuits and a side of mashed potatoes.
You're behind the times, officers. Urban farming is the wave of the future. Fosters a connection to the earth. Plus, once you've tasted homegrown eggs, those watery factory-produced things just make you gag.
So was that a thing in 1999?
Who knows? I bet if we looked it up, we'd find out. Oh.
Going green and hatching your own chickens in New York?
It could have been.
If there are any New Yorkers,
Yeah.
any New Yorkers from 1999, I should say, please comment.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah. Chicken blood.
One of
That's
the
nice.
things we're trying to make sense of here, Ellie, is we found avian blood on your husband's clothes.
Avian?
Bird blood.
I know what the word means. It's just very odd.
That's what we thought.
Maybe your husband slaughtered a chicken for dinner last night?
I don't think so. He doesn't take much of an interest in them, to be honest. They're more my thing. He only helps out when it's something I can't bring myself to do.
New topics. Neil and the Chickens.
Chickens.
Sounds like an excellent musical comedy.
I agree.
About those chickens of yours, what do you mean when you say Neil would do the things you couldn't bring yourself to do?
Should be a
Well,
question mark
Raccoon's
there.
got one
Yep.
once, and he cleaned up the mess, but that was ages ago. And I made him get rid of Roger last July.
Roger?
A cockerel. He started out as Rebecca.
They looked at each other
See,
again.
keeping hens is perfectly legal in New York City, but it's against the law to keep a rooster.
Makes sense to me.
We raised our brood from chicks. And of course, all chicks look alike. They're sexed before they're sold, but the process isn't foolproof. We bought 4 hens.
And one of them turned out to be a rooster.
Right. By the time we found out she was a he, I had grown fond of him. I didn't have the heart to get rid of him myself, so I made Neil do it. But like I said, that was practically a year ago.
Do you know what he did with it?
He took it back to the farm we got it from, in New Jersey. Cora's Cluckers. I can give you their number. They know us there. There goes the alarm.
3:55.
What'd I tell you? Right on schedule.
I'm not sure if people could hear that, but that was the sound of the baby crying.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, in the brief break, we confirmed that it's the same person who does the voice of Abby and the widow here. So I was right. Same voice actress. Diana, this is the point where you compliment me on my excellent hearing.
Good job. Good job. I'm proud of you.
All right. This is definitely a career skill which I can use
Writing
Yes.
in your diary?
It's
in
not
my
a
job
diary.
not working for
It's
Telltale.
a journal.
What kind of journal?
None of your business. Did you call Cora's Cluckers?
Yeah, she remembers Neil Jenson. Said he never brought her any roosters.
Oh, I
She
wish there was a way to
sure?
pause this
Sounds
game.
sure. Matter of fact, she was away at the state fair on the day
There's
Jenson
not in
supposedly brought
the-
the bird in.
PC
So he
version, because I
lied
thought
to
there
the
was in
little
the
woman, huh?
iPad
There
version.
is.
The victim
There
had
is
a
in the,
questionable character.
whatever you
Imagine
call
you're a
it.
husband, and not
iPad
the most
version?
responsible husband in the world.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Quite an imaginative leap.
Your wife gives you a live rooster and tells you to take it by public transportation all the way to New Jersey to get rid of it. What do?
You sure as hell don't take it all the way to Jersey. I dump it in the closest spot I can find and go catch a ball game.
Right. And there's only so many places you can take a live chicken if you're too squeamish to kill it. Huang's Live Poultry, 1521 Barry, just 6 blocks from the Jensen house.
Well, let's check them out. Farm animals in the middle of Brooklyn. I've lived in this city my whole life, and it never ceases to surprise me.
Oh, we serve everyone here. We've got kosher slaughter for our Jewish clients, halal for the Muslims.
And if I'm in the mood for pork chops,
For that, we've got a Dominican butcher.
he covers all bases.
Mind if we ask you a few questions?
Okay, but be quick. The dinner rush is gonna start any minute.
Okay, I don't quite understand the joke he said about the Dominican butcher.
Yeah,
but
no, me neither.
the thing I was going to point out was the diary. What's his face? Lennie has a diary.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
I'm thinking maybe that's going to come in handy in one of the, other episodes.
Yeah. Because he could be writing about his old cases.
Yeah, no, he's writing about his case, and then Ray is gonna, find the diary and find some new information, which is gonna solve the unsolved case.
The Preppy Joggers case with the indefinite spelling.
Yep. And indefinite name. Sometimes it's sometimes it's Preppy Jogger, sometimes it's Preppy Joggers.
That's just gonna get on my nerves when I play the rest of this game.
It's okay, we're only gonna mention it, once in this actual game, but still. I totally thought that's where they were going with the diary journal thing. And the journal is going to make an appearance in another case. In the future. How many years in the future is that? 14? 15?
15? Maybe?
14 to 15. A decade and a half later,
Yeah.
Ray is going to find that journal, and I think he might look through it. Which may or may not be a spoiler. Sorry, everybody. I don't think it's a spoiler.
No. It doesn't
This
tell what's
guy
gonna
ever come in
happen.
here?
Just-
No.
Look again.
But we already
Mr.
guessed
Huang,
what's
I
going to
thought
happen.
you said
It's
you
going to help
serve
him solve his
I think
case.
pretty much
Can't
anybody
be
can
so
guess
sure
that.
you haven't
It's
served
okay.
him.
Yeah, what I mean is, everybody but Wasps. His type usually like that meat wrapped in plastic.
And speaking of voices, this guy clearly does the voice of Cue Ball in the Back to the Future series.
You slaughter your animals here on the premises?
Sure, naturally. Look, my client wants to come in, select an animal, and take home the meat the same afternoon.
Does your client generally want to watch the slaughter?
No question
No, that's
mark.
against
Question
policy.
mark.
Our abattoir's a separate space in back.
Past the plastic curtain.
Correct.
Is it important to look in the abattoir?
I think so, because you can get bird blood back there.
Alright. Good answer.
It's a fun place to spend a Saturday afternoon also.
Well, the correct answer is the fourth one, and there's no period at the end of that sentence.
Oh,
Are we gonna do this seriously the whole time?
yes. Because I am a grammar Nazi. I am.
Okay, fine. Although I'm the
Unless
one
I
who's
don't
pointing
see it,
out,
unless it
yeah.
goes by so fast and I don't see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what next?
How about employees?
How many employees you got?
6, 3 in front, 3 in back.
You look into their backgrounds before you hire them?
They're all citizens, detective.
You sure about that?
Listen, I serve immigrant customers, so I hire immigrant workers. Good workers. Just because a guy wasn't born in this country, does that make him a murder suspect? That sounds like racial profiling to me.
Anything odd about what he just said?
Yes.
Do you know what's odd?
We never said that this was a murder investigation.
Yep. Good job, Diana.
I don't believe I said
Thank
this was a
you.
murder investigation.
Well, what else would it be?
See, this is another thing which makes you different from Paul. I have to constantly keep saying nice things about him, otherwise he will fire me.
Whereas I can't really do anything about that, so.
So I can just insult you all I want. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
I mean.
We have the same last name. We have to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
So do people misspell your last name all the time too?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's like, guys, really, there's only one way to spell gray. Really. I don't count the other way.
There are no shades of gray there. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
it's not
no,
G-R-E-Y.
there are not.
We'd like
Let's
to
inspect
take
the
a look
abattoir.
inside
Let's
your abattoir
inspect
if
it.
you don't mind.
We could rant on this
Out
for a
of the
while.
question.
Yeah,
We're
we could.
investigating a serious crime, Mr. Huang.
And I'm running a business. I can't let you back there. It would violate health regulations.
We won't tell the inspector.
Wow, proper
Honest.
use of a double
The
M
answer
dash.
is no, not without a warrant.
Okay, so enter the abattoir anyway? No, we need a warrant.
Because we can't. It's inadmissible in court.
Interesting.
Hey, Mr. Wang.
And this is the
one moment,
Dominican
please.
butcher. They looked at each other again.
Yep.
That was just a quick look at each other.
Check
It
out the
wasn't like
Rolex.
the full-blown, let's stare at each other for a while.
Sorry for the interruption. One of my butchers has a problem at home.
Mr. Huang, could I ask you where you got that watch?
This? It's just a knockoff. I got it from a guy on Fifth Avenue.
Mind if I take a closer look?
Now look here. Enough with the suspicious questions. I'm an American citizen and I got my rights.
Sounds
That
like
definitely
a no.
sounded like cue ball.
Well, I don't want to sound like a horrible person, but this guy kind of does like a third of the voices in the entire Law and Order series. Because you know the Russian guy from the previous episode? That was him doing a Russian accent. This is him doing cue ball with a slight Chinese accent, and he's going to be the lawyer for the Preppy Joggers case, believe it or not.
See?
So that's like 2 to 3 episodes where he is an actual character who says stuff. As that particular character, the lawyer.
Oh.
1. Alright, District Attorney's
This
Office.
guy's
We're gonna
hiding
see
something.
Adam.
And
Yes.
you're basing that on...
He's wearing a Rolex.
not
The victim's
Adam.
wife told us he was missing
Oh,
a
it's
Rolex,
Abby.
one he never
But
took
Hey,
you
off.
Abby.
can hear her voice
So
now.
wearing a Rolex
Yay.
is now illegal.
He refused to let us
She
check
does
out the
sound like
back
the
room in his
widow.
meat market.
She does.
Jensen had avian blood on him. That room's the best spot in the neighborhood to find dead birds. There's something back there he doesn't want us to see.
Spare me. As it stands right now, there isn't enough evidence to suggest probable cause. Give me reason to believe that there was something worse than slaughter going on in that room, or you don't get a warrant. And no arrest unless you've got something physical to tie this guy to the victim.
I mean, really? Something worse than
Nina
slaughter?
Havisham,
Isn't slaughter
32,
bad
Junior
enough,
partner
Abby?
at
Yeah,
Epilogue.
really.
Wait a minute. Nina Havisham. She was one of the suspects in the
Preppy
Preppy
Jogger.
Jogger case.
Jogger.
So?
Van Buren took us off that
No
one.
space in Van
Yeah,
Buren
but
there.
remember that little speech he
Yeah.
gave back in February? All detectives
Detectives
are
should not
encouraged
be
to ask about
capitalized.
crimes they're
Ah.
not currently investigating. It's all about spreading the widest possible net. Well, the case may be closed for now, but the net's still open.
Hey, well, happy fishing, partner.
Hey, you know that meat market sells cow skulls?
Now, I know that definitely isn't on your diet. Look what it says in the logs. 3 weeks ago Tuesday, we got a late-night complaint
They're
about noise
working
coming
on late
from the meat
90s
market.
computers.
How late at night?
1:45 a.m. Then, 2 weeks ago,
I'm
also
laughing.
on
I had a
Tuesday,
computer
the
which was
same
actually
noise
killed by
complaint.
Let me
Y2K.
guess. Same thing happened last Tuesday.
About 15 minutes before Neil Jenson was
It's
wounded.
like a
What do you
95
think?
I think
Apple,
we've
so
got
I
it
mean,
wrong.
it is 5 years old computer anyway.
All right then. But at least let me watch.
I'm sorry, it's against policy.
Okay, well, we found our bird blood.
I like Mr. Wing in the
Just like,
background.
Whatever. He
Maybe
usually
he'll
leaves.
Tell us what was
Whatever,
going on
man.
after hours Tuesday night.
I didn't want to
whether
watch
Roost
anyway.
was in on it.
Yeah, that was great. No, but I mean, we saw Abby there. I guess we don't see the chief prosecutor because we don't have a real case yet. So once we have the real case,
So we're gonna see him later.
I mean, you don't see the head guy when you're just trying to work out a case, right?
Yeah.
That's how
That
it
makes
works.
sense.
That's how it works, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You've got a problem with McDonald's. You don't expect to see Ronald McDonald himself. You expect to see the manager, right? You don't.
No.
Yeah. Okay,
That is a
so
lot.
I'm not sure how this works on the computer because I played the iPad version, and in the iPad version you just do a circle around things. So do I have to
You
click?
just click. Oh no, you can still turn circle.
Okay, so I have to click and do a circle.
Now we're cooking.
What's that?
A ledger. And I got a feeling these ain't sales of ground in here. They look like bets.
Looks like NJ owes a bundle to EH.
E.H. Edward Wang.
And NJ is the victim, Neil Jenson.
Yeah, Neil Jenson.
So obviously the victim owed a lot of money to the, whatever you call it. This guy.
The guy that owns this place.
The
That
guy who doesn't care. The guy with the great dance moves.
guy that just walked away.
Here's another
That's a
thing.
hell of a lot of blood.
Could have come from a pig
Ew.
or something, I guess, but why would you wrap a pig in a blanket? I mean, a real pig in a real blanket.
Let's take it back to forensics.
So what are we looking for? I think right now we're just looking for murder weapons.
Yeah. And source of avian blood.
Alrighty. So this is auto-scrolling, believe it or not. I'm not clicking here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that is kind of nice. Although I guess
Because that was something that
that
confused me on the iPad.
If you have to find something which is like at the edge of the screen, I imagine the auto-scrolling is just going to be a pain.
Yeah. That could get a little irritating.
I don't think so.
Okay, well we found a possible murder weapon.
Okay.
I know where everything is, so that's why I'm not asking you
Oh,
for
okay.
help.
You want to
That's
search
okay.
the garbage?
Hey, nothing I like better than digging through a mound of chicken heads and feathers.
Don't want people to think I'm excluding you. It's just I'm solving this puzzle by myself now.
It's okay, Michael. You can do things by yourself.
Huh.
What'd you find?
It's the carcass of a whole rooster. Good one, too. Why do you suppose they just
Seems a
throw
bit
it
stranger
away?
like this.
Maybe it died of diphtheria.
Nah, it's all cut up.
So what is diphtheria? Because you have a dictionary.
I just put my dictionary away.
Oh,
That was,
you put it away during the break?
yeah, because it was bothering me. It's a disease. Yeah, some kind.
Okay,
I
fine.
think it was like an organ trail or
A
something.
short curved blade.
You're thinking
I don't
of
know.
What do you
dysentery.
want to bet it's a match for
Oh,
murder?
never mind.
If I told you what that meant, well,
Doesn't
it's kind
seem
of
like anything
disgusting.
a butcher.
Yeah, let's not go there.
It's a very painful way to die, and we found the murder weapon, believe it or
I
not.
always ended up dying of dysentery on organ trail.
Mhm.
I played that all the time.
My character's died of measles.
That or I froze to death. One of the two.
Okay, well, we found the curved blade, which is the murder weapon,
Yeah.
but the game is still going to force us to look for possible murder weapons, which I think is kind of
Van
strange.
Buren said
Yeah, that's
it
a little
was
bit ridiculous.
short, curved blade.
Why
Okay,
did it
that's
spell
like the
sure?
third time Van Buren has no space in between Van and
Yeah.
Buren. Perhaps her name is not supposed to have a space between it, and they just messed up on the one time they did give it a space.
This could do a guy in.
Sure, but not our guy.
Is that a bowling pin?
Wait,
that looked like
let
a
me see that
bowling
blade
pin
again.
drawn in blood.
That's
I know
disgusting.
what this is. It's a gaff.
And then he picks
They
up the
attach
blade that
these
we
to the
found
claws
like
of-
second.
Hey, Mr. Huang!
Yeah, let's pick up a murder weapon without any gloves or anything.
I think you've
Yeah.
got some explaining to do.
At least like an evidence bag or something. Come on.
We can talk out there if you'd rather. I'm sure they'll be interested to hear about how you're running a cockfighting ring.
Dun dun.
Cockfighting.
Dun,
Of course. Is that kosher?
Is that
What do you
kosher?
think, Ray? We got enough to arrest this guy?
Yeah, I say we
Mr.
cuff him
Huang
for
is
the murder of
visibly
Neil
nervous.
Jenson.
Murder?
Yeah.
Now wait a minute, detectives. Hold everything.
Sure, it all hangs together. Jensen owed a gambling debt to Mr. Huang here, and when Jensen can't pay up, Huang starts eyeing his Rolex. Neil, thanks for 10 wonderful years. Ellie.
You gotta believe me. I didn't kill him.
Then who did?
Ricardo Guzman, I think.
Where can we find him?
He doesn't have a fixed address. Moves around from couch to couch.
Take this guy in.
Wait, I got his cell number.
What luck. I'm glad you know how to follow instructions, Mr. Huang, because we've got a little job for you.
I think there's something, if there's anything we've learned from this series, if somebody is visibly nervous, that means they're not guilty.
Yeah,
It means they're trying to hide something, but they're not the culprit.
pretty much. I think that's how it works.
Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna meet the real murderer, Ricardo Guzman. I think.
Okay, Huang, you
Maybe.
remember what we told you, and this ought to go down quick and painless.
Mr. Huang didn't
He's gonna
change
kill
his
me, you know,
clothes.
when he finds out
No,
I'm working with the police.
They didn't let him change his
By
clothes.
that time, he'll be in custody. That
But
is, as
they're
long as you play it cool
disgusting
and
and
take
covered
your
in
cues
blood.
from us.
Yeah?
Ricardo, it's Huang.
Hey, what's the matter, man? You sound funny.
Okay, what should he say?
The cops questioned you and left.
And fortunately, Ricardo is not going to become suspicious because there's a humongous gap in between every single one of his answers.
Yeah.
Cops got me worked up, but they're gone.
And he can't hear
The cops,
Curtis.
They worked me over pretty hard.
But you didn't say nothing.
No, I held firm. They're gone now.
Correct.
Yay.
They find anything?
What should he say?
Be
I think it's
nervous.
nervous.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
I think he used to be
they're on
nervous.
Yeah, afraid so. They know everything.
Diablo.
Missed that
Oh,
one.
I know.
So what
I
am I
know.
supposed to do, man? We got another fight coming Tuesday. You know I can't cancel it. I'm on the hook to Menendez. $5,000, man, and I'm broke.
What should he say?
It's just a new, better location.
Hold the fight in a new location.
Better not hold the fight at the shop. Too risky.
Uh-oh,
You gotta
they did
find
not
a
do
new
the double
location.
dash there.
Where, man? I don't know nobody
Oh.
in this kind of space.
Tell them you do.
I do. My cousin Lou runs a body shop in Park Slope. Let me talk to him.
See, you're a pal, man.
And none of those sentences should end with an ellipsis,
tell
because
him
they're
you'll meet
clearly
him later.
not pausing
Let's
at
meet
the
up
end of the
later once
sentence.
Yeah.
everything's squared away.
Where?
It's like they're using simple periods there. So what should he say? Another one. The first sentence does not have a period.
Yeah. That was what was bothering me. I guess the neutral location.
Neutral location. Yeah.
Somewhere by Pulaski Bridge, 6 p.m.
That street corner. Over by the bodega and the pharmacy. On 21st by Pulaski Bridge. Around 6?
I presume that's a place in New York.
I guess so.
You done good, Mr. Huang.
We'll take it from here.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna complain about the grammar of saying you done good, because I
Yeah.
think you did that on purpose.
Yeah. I was gonna say same thing.
In any case, we still got 3 stars. Do you want to replay the scene in order to get full stars?
We can.
I can right-click. Okay, so this
Ooh.
was something you could do in
Okay,
the, other series by Telltales.
He's gonna kill
Telltale
me.
games.
But-
But, I mean, I'm right-clicking here, and
Yeah.
because nobody's saying
Ricardo?
anything, it doesn't skip.
It's just as long. Say the cops question you and left.
Cops had me.
No.
What should he say?
Okay, don't be nervous.
Confident or casual?
No. What do you think?
I don't know. Let's flip a coin.
Okay.
Do you have a coin? Got it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Heads, confident, tails, casual.
Okay.
Heads. Confident.
Confident. Let's do it.
No.
No. Those clowns couldn't find a hot dog in a wiener cart.
You sound pretty sure of yourself.
Oh!
no!
So what am I supposed to do, man? We gotta...
What's wrong with insulting the cops? Well, it's mean, yeah.
Forget it.
Now it doesn't matter what we do.
I'm losing on purpose, yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna get a city pass. Oh wait, yeah, well.
Yeah, well, it ends the scene earlier.
Oh, that's the scene right here.
We blew it.
What do you mean we blew it? You didn't do anything.
You mean you blew it, Ray?
Ray is the one who messed up.
Okay,
Yeah.
you remember what we told
Curtis
you.
isn't, I mean, yeah. Wait, Curtis is Ray. It's Ray Curtis.
Yeah, wait, it's the same person.
This is confusing. Either refer to themselves by their last names
Ricardo,
all the time,
it's
or
Wayne.
just don't switch back and forth.
Okay, we
I
know
think the
this.
problem is that the subtitles refer to everybody by their last name.
No.
Yeah, and
not
then they
Wayne.
call each other by their
They're
first
gone
names
now.
sometimes.
Yeah, which throws us off.
They find anything?
Okay, be casual.
Not enough to arrest you.
Enough to make them suspicious, but not enough to get you in trouble, I think.
Alright.
So what am I
Right.
supposed to do, man? We got...
Okay, so let's just skip through everything. New,
Hold
better
the-
location.
See.
Let's meet up later once everything.
Where?
Control location.
See.
And now we got a bonus star for being
You're
awesome.
Yeah.
doing good, Mr. Huang.
We'll take it from here.
You done good, Mr. Huang. Meanwhile, I just sat in my chair and watched the whole
Yeah.
thing rather than helping.
I just watched everything. It's okay.
It was really entertaining, though. I loved it.
Job.
Wang, over here.
Sorry, Huang is indisposed at the moment. Ricardo Guzman, you are
Wow,
under
you think
arrest
he
for
could
the
have
murder of
escaped
Neil
from
Jenson.
that.
Yeah, I know, you
Curtis
could've
was
just
not
run around.
really.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Curtis was not putting up the world's best
Oh, he's
defense.
just like, stop right there.
Mr. Guzman doesn't dispute the cockfighting charges. We're prepared to plead guilty on that one.
Está insultando la República Dominica.
Let me.
Oh no.
My client is not a murderer, Mr. McCoy. Mr. Jensen died as a result of an accident.
An accident.
He attempted to handle an armed
What's
bird,
McCoy doing
and he
here?
lost
Yeah, I
control.
know.
Really?
Where's Adam?
Where's Adam? I wanted to see Adam.
Don't tell me
Unbelievable.
McCoy is assigned to
The
this
man gets
case.
carved up like a side of beef. Guzman lets him slowly bleed to death, then dumps him on a doorstep and expects to walk away.
I checked with the Dominican consulate.
And?
He's wanted there for drug running and armed robbery.
Well, I want him here for murder.
Is it possible it really was an accident?
Does it matter? Neil Jensen didn't have to die. Guzman had 2 hours to get help and he callously stood by. Murder 2. Depraved indifference.
Dun dun. Okay, finally, we get a moment to pause. So, anything you want to say?
I'm kind of disappointed that Adam is not here.
Yeah, it looks like Jack and Abby are going
Jack
to
and
be the
Adam
lawyers.
can do it.
It's okay. I'm sure what's
Oh.
going to happen is that, you know, they'll run into a tough spot and then Adam will give them some advice.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, that's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention something about Spanish, because they keep all his Spanish stuff in Spanish. They don't bother to translate it. The
I could
defendant.
probably translate it.
Well, I can too. I'm just saying, it's like, that's sort of interesting. Okay, so Harlan Fitzpatrick, he will try to make the defendant look like a really nice guy. So we have to object when he gets out of line. Like how object is in all caps.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know about these objections, right? Leading.
Mm-hmm.
What's leading? Diana, what is leading?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the first part of that question. It's when they ask a question like, I'm right, or don't you mean like, yeah.
And if a girl does it, then it's misleading.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Clever.
Clever. Good job.
Asked and answered. Asked and answered is when a lawyer, why is lawyer capitalized? I guess
don't
you can
know.
do that. So question, something I do for Ace Attorney when I'm writing fan fiction for Phoenix Wright or something like that, I always capitalize judge, as in the judge.
I do too.
But that's because we don't have a real name for him. So
Unless I put a "the" before his name, then I usually go back and uncapitalize it.
Yeah, in that case, it's like you're clearly referring to a person by their occupation instead of their name. So the occupation works as a name, and I guess that's why lawyers capitalize here. Anyway, what is asked and answered?
When they repeat an answer for dramatic effect.
Yeah, and we do not want things to be too dramatic here, because obviously that would be bad.
Mr. Guzman, when did you first meet Neil Jenson?
Maybe a year ago, I guess.
Who initiated the relationship? You or him?
He did. I didn't want to have no part of him, man. Not at first. What I do, I gotta be careful who I let in. Can bring trouble, you know? Especially a white guy.
Mr. Jenson came to you with an offer, is that right?
Yeah, he had a bird, and he wanted me to help him raise it and fight it.
And at first you said no?
That's right.
I'm objecting.
Yeah.
He said that twice.
Yeah.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Ah, he did the objection point.
What caused you to take Neil Jenson under your wing, as it were, in spite of your suspicion?
He knew cockfighting ain't how they make it out to be, you know?
Ain't?
It's
Whoa, subtitles don't match with what he said.
Than people realize, you mean?
Would I like to object? Yeah. Leading.
Yeah.
Fun thing about this case, you pretty much have to object every single time. There are no red herring objections here, I don't think.
Objection, leading.
I think that's a good thing.
Like that.
Makes it a lot easier for us.
Sentiments did Mr. Jenson express to you?
Well, like, cocking's a
although,
real
you know, it
sport.
sort of makes me wonder, it's like,
dedication
why do you have the
and
option of
discipline.
saying, should you object
You know,
here or not?
it can
Because
teach
you
a
should
lot
always
about life
object.
if you let it.
Yeah.
So you agreed to keep the
You should just
bird.
skip
away that
right to the
option.
what do you want to object.
See, together we raised El Jefe. And together
Yeah, I mean,
we
like there,
conditioned him
C.
to fight.
They
He was a
translated
good
that as
bird.
yes in the subtitles. But the other things he says in Spanish weren't translated. That's just sort of inconsistent.
That's weird. Yeah.
Although I guess it's pretty obvious, you know, C means yes. That's pretty basic Spanish. I guess most people know that.
Yeah.
So speculation is when you get to imagine something and present it as evidence, which happens all the time in the Phoenix Wright series.
And no one ever calls them out on that.
Well, but sometimes they do.
So, well, yeah, sometimes.
Only when the defense does it.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us
When the
in your
prosecution
own
does it, it's
words,
fine.
what happened on the night of Tuesday, May 5th?
Well, Neil come in that night really keyed up, man. Like super keyed up. He was jumping all around. I think maybe he was on something.
Let's object.
Yeah.
What was that?
Bro.
It's speculation.
Yeah. I was gonna say that first one was kind of the same.
The only one with a period at the end of that sentence. The
Yeah.
one-word
So
sentence.
that means it has to be right.
Objection. Speculation.
There's the point again.
Yes.
Strike that from the record. Watch yourself, Mr. Guzman. Please confine your description to actual events.
Go on.
Well, he was excited, you know, because El Jefe was finally gonna fight. There were some other birds at first, but he couldn't sit and watch, man. Pacing around, till his turn finally came. Okay, I tell him. I'm the handler. I'm experienced at this stuff. Let me do it.
Get the bird into the ring.
The pit, yeah. It could be dangerous, you know, especially with the long heel.
A long blade attached to the rooster's spur.
Right, but Neil wouldn't hear nothing I was saying, man. Being he was a rider, he had to do everything himself. Well, anyway, he's yelling about how he had to be the one to handle El Jefe.
I don't know if I like that.
I told him don't.
Then again, we have been like trying to take control of the entire game with all the grammar and everything.
Pretty much. That's actually probably true.
But somebody has to do it by Jingo because clearly there was no proofreader.
Yeah.
The bird goes crazy.
It attacked Neil Jenson. Naturally, you were horrified.
Yeah, objection. He's leading. He's telling him what to do. And religious beliefs are totally proof. I mean, where does that come from?
What?
That's something which kind of bothers me here. I mean, like, 2 of these objections are not real objections that we haven't heard about.
Yeah.
So obviously the proper objection is the one which is actually the one we know.
They didn't do that as much in the first episode.
Sustained.
They had all 3 that you knew on there, didn't they?
Yeah. Okay, so
here's another one.
Here's a 4th one. So I mean, those other 2 we're never going to learn about in the series.
Putting yourself in considerable danger in the process.
Misleading the jury shows up a lot, but we never get told how that's something you can object to. So what are we doing here?
Putting yourself in considerable danger in the process. I imagine.
So is this leading, speculation? It's not asked and answered.
It's not. I don't think it's asked and answered. I think it's leading.
Objection. Leading. Counsel is putting words in the
witness's
mouth.
Withdrawn.
But by the time I got the rooster under control, the damage was done.
I see. So what then? What did you do for
No
him?
question mark.
I wrap a blanket
No question mark.
to try stop the bleeding, you know?
Did you think to take him to the hospital?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but he told me not to. He wanted me to take him home.
Mr. Jenson asked you to take him home.
Mm-hmm. His wounds, I mean, he was cut up pretty bad, but not so bad as all that. He should have pulled through, no problem.
Objection.
Objection.
That's no expert knowledge. And it has a period at the end, so we know that's the one we have to pick. Wow, once we find out about this period thing, it's like, this is
really easy.
Objection. No expert knowledge. Considering the outcome, I think we can conclude that Mr. Guzman's assessment of the situation is off.
What
Sustained.
is Jack looking at there?
Yeah.
He's like looking at the
Looking at the ground.
Bible, you tell the truth, Mr. Guzman.
I'm telling the truth. I panicked maybe. You would have done the same. But I did what Neil asked me to do. What I thought would save his life.
Your witness, Mr. McCoy.
You know, I have to be honest here. I don't really see why that is bad testimony.
No.
I think it makes sense for him to say, you know what, I thought he was going to live. It seems like that is very valid to the situation and it explains his motives.
Yeah. Why did they say it was bad? Because he died?
It's
what they said?
He's not a doctor, that's why, so he can't assess wounds.
So he can't say that?
Yeah, it's illegal for a non-doctor to say, wow, that wound looks good or bad.
Okay.
That's really, really picky. So let's continue. Cross-examination.
Mr. Guzman.
Cross-examination is really, really easy.
Yay.
Okay, don't talk about his past life or the cultural bias against cockfighting.
Okay.
So we can't be racist, and we can't talk about how he's a criminal. Okay. No mudslinging, I think, is what the game is
Pretty
trying
much,
to say.
yeah. So
Cross-examination is simple because it's just the same thing we've been doing for the entire game, which is just choosing what they talk about.
Yeah.
Rather than, actual gameplay where you have to think. What do we talk about?
First one.
The incident in question occurred on the night of May 5th.
That's right. Maybe 1:45.
1:45. And you say you acted to save him?
Of course I acted. I tried to help him right there, and when I couldn't help him, I took him home, like he asked me to.
Guzman really cleans up in that suit.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, when we first saw him, he looks completely different.
Yeah, well, I think it's because they covered up, his nasty tattoo and stuff.
Yeah. Now he looks all, professional.
Okay, well, is this consistent
What'd
with
he
the
say?
time of death? 1:45, yeah. Because he was attacked at 2. What? No!
No! He died at 4.
Oh, no. Okay, well, can we just die on purpose?
Can we die on purpose?
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's not dying on
no.
purpose.
That doesn't help us die on purpose.
Yes. Okay, now I'm dying on purpose.
Well,
Do you do that when you play games?
Yes.
It's like,
I do that all the
messed
time.
up. Well, I'm gonna die on purpose, and this time I'm gonna get a perfect score.
Mr.
Yes,
Guzman.
I do that all the time.
It's like perfect score or bust. If we get like a 90%, that's not good enough. Even though I guess technically a 90% is good enough. Oh well,
The
time of
incident
the
in
incident.
question occurred
Let's
on
try
the
this
night of
again.
May 5th.
That's right.
I haven't played around with
Maybe
that in this game
145.
to see like what
145.
percent is good enough
And you
in order
say
to
you
get the
acted
good
to save
ending.
him?
Of course I acted. I tried to help him right there, and when I couldn't.
Consistent with the time of death? No. Alright, so this time we have the 2-hour gap. Hey, there's Adam.
But
Yeah,
there's
look, he's right
a problem
there.
here. The
Show us his
911
picture.
call is timed
Alright.
4:03. 2
So we see him for like 2
hours after
seconds.
The incident, Mr. Guzman.
No, don't
Under
worry,
the
he's gonna appear.
circumstances,
Oh,
fair
okay.
to ask, couldn't your response have been
He
a
was
little
in the
more
opening credits, and
prompt?
everybody
He's
else in the
gotta be
opening
here.
credits
Yeah.
is here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Guzman.
It's a mistake. Someone's not telling the truth.
Are you suggesting 911 got the time wrong?
Or somebody.
Alrighty, topic
Well,
number 3, because the other 2 are, you know,
Yeah.
we can't talk about how he's a horrible criminal.
You knew it was dangerous for Neil Jenson to handle his own rooster.
Sure it was dangerous. When those birds are ready to fight, man, they're ready to fight.
Then why didn't you stop him?
I tried, man, but like I said, he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Nope, that's exactly what he said earlier.
Yeah.
Good job, Mr. Consistent.
El Jefe testified earlier.
Yeah, the rooster testified.
Rooster definitely testified.
That's not how you spell Jefe. That's
I know, that's not even spelled right, so obviously it's not that one.
And that's the only one with the period on it, though, so maybe that sentence has to be correct.
I think it's the last one,
Yeah, the last one.
which doesn't have period. So that is not consistent.
Mr. Guzman, you took Mr. Jensen into your confidence, initiated him into your illegal activities. Knowing your new disciple was a writer, didn't you worry that he'd give the game away, expose your ring, and force you to shut down operations?
What is Jack looking
sure, I
at?
was worried.
Again?
He promised me.
Yeah, he's like looking at the
He
wall.
wouldn't write anything neither, unless I okayed it first.
And you trusted him.
Yeah, he respected me, man.
Some people are like that, though. I know one person who does public speaking, and he purposely does not look at the people in the crowd because he can't handle it. So he like purposely focuses on the door or something else. He looks
I know people like that.
Yeah, looks right next to the person or right over the person when he's doing a public speech in front of a bunch of people. So maybe Jack is just, you know, sort of unconfident and dealing with witnesses. He's like, I have to look at the wall next to him because I can't look this guy in the eye because I'm trying to ruin his life here. Okay, so did the victim disobey this guy?
Yeah.
They had a minor fight getting into the ring, and I see a little scar on the defendant's cheek. Could that be from this cockfighting stuff?
Probably. Yeah, it's that one.
Just a nice little detail, which
Yeah.
never gets mentioned.
Well, it doesn't seem like he respected you very much on the night he died. I mean, he defied you. He disobeyed your orders to stay away from the rooster.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Jury foreman.
Let's get back to those final moments, shall we?
The person's
Maybe this
bangs
time
are just
we
so
can get the
funny.
facts straight. You drove Neil
This
Jensen
person
home,
has the same hairdo as
He asked me
Abby,
to.
except black
and
hair.
you dropped him off at
Different
the door.
bangs.
What time was that? 4 o'clock?
More like 2.
Did you stay with him till he was safely inside?
No.
No. You dumped him there and took off. Why, Mr. Guzman?
I heard a baby crying as I was coming up the walk with Neil, and I saw a light turn on, so I knew she was up. I was sure she was gonna come down and get Neil.
She? The
Yes.
baby?
But I didn't want to have to be there and explain it all to her, you know?
No, I expect you didn't. No further questions.
Alright, so we've sort of got a plotline going on. The defendant is claiming he dropped the guy off at 2 o'clock, right after the injury. And we, the prosecution, are claiming he was dropped off 2 hours later at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Due to the 911 call. So who do you think is telling the truth?
I think it's a little bit too early to say, but I don't know.
Okay. You know what? That's fair enough. It's fair enough to not know. I'm pretty sure Adam is going to come in at the last second with case-deciding evidence.
Yeah. That's definitely going to happen. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, hey, we're putting Ellie on the stand. Huh.
Okay.
I thought they were going to, like, go to the prosecutor's office and ask Adam for some help.
Yeah.
Okay, so no need to ask tough questions. Just have her recount her experience, generate some sympathy. And let's not talk to her about the fact that her husband was a horrible person.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Want to take this one, Abby?
The
Right.
people call Ellie
Yeah.
Jenson to the witness stand.
Abby will be more interesting than Jack. Not to insult Jack, but he seemed kind of bored during that entire testimony.
Yeah.
So, night of the murder.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jenson, tell us how you discovered your husband on the night in question. Well, I
she's
heard
kind
a
of looking
sort
off
of
to the
a
side,
thunk
too.
coming from
Yeah.
outside the front door. Did it wake you up? No, it wasn't loud enough for that, but luckily I was
There
awake.
must be like a really
No,
interesting
my
calendar
baby
on the
had just
wall
waited
just
for his
outside
That we just
our
can't
view.
see.
That at least conforms to Mr. Guzman's testimony. What condition was your husband in when you found him? It was horrible. He was covered in blood and he had this look in his eyes like he knew he was dying. I kept saying, "Who did this to you? Who did this to you?" But all he could do was move his mouth. I think he was saying, "I'm sorry." And there was nobody with him? Nobody. He was all alone. Now this is crucial. Mrs. Jenson, what time did you discover your husband?
Oh, here
Just
we go.
before 4 a.m. You're absolutely sure? Yes. I glanced at the clock when my baby cried at 5 minutes too. He always wakes up at the same time. Thank you, Mrs. Jenson.
So we have two witnesses to the time.
So you finally come around, eh, Harlan?
If that's the way you want to look at it, Jack.
Great. What are you looking for?
No jail time. Mr. Guzman pays a fine and does 12 months probation.
Come on, he killed a man.
Actually, a rooster killed a man.
He sat idly by for 2 hours and let an innocent man bleed to death.
Probation? No way. Make your counteroffer. So, I just should point this out here. That was the easiest cross-examination ever.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
We
had
picked
to
one
click
conversation
one button.
topic, no questions whatsoever. You just say, okay, we'll talk about the first one, and that's it.
Yeah. They could have at least made it like the middle one or something.
Easiest testimony ever. Anyway, probation? No way. Manslaughter. Oh, this is a definition. It explains the various different charges, which I think confused us on the first game because we had no idea what those things are. Well, yeah, see, this is confusing. It explains what manslaughter is, but it doesn't tell me what murder 2 is.
I guess basically it's saying if you don't agree with manslaughter, go for murder 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it did explain what murder 2 was last time, so I guess it expected you to remember that. It explained it up there.
Did they explain it here? Oh,
Yeah, I had to click on that.
They don't keep it here in the transcript, though. They don't keep
Not
the
this time, no,
explanation in the transcript. That's not cool.
Oh.
Well, he didn't directly kill him, because the rooster did that, and I'm not sure what murder 2 is, so I'm gonna say no deal.
Okay.
So he can go right back to running cockfights? No deal, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, we're not gonna let him off with just 12 months probation.
No.
Ricardo Guzman will never win any good citizenship awards. He's a devotee of cockfighting, a sport which many, no doubt, many of you here in the jury consider barbaric and inhumane. But
Those
it's
statues
important
are
to
bad again.
appreciate that
Yeah.
the defendant is the product of another culture. We mustn't let cultural differences blind us to his essential humanity. Consider Mr. Guzman's relationship
So
with
in
the deceased.
his culture, it's okay to
He
kill
agreed to
people?
act as
Is that
Mr.
what you're trying to say
Jenson's
here?
assistant, not for
That's
money,
horrible.
but through mutual love of the sport. For many months, he patiently
No, he did
worked
it for
with him
money.
and trained with him. He became
Yeah,
Mr.
he wanted the
Jenson's
money
best
from the
friend
betting.
and his friend.
Yeah, he said he was in
And
debt
when
$5,000.
the accident occurred, Mr. Guzman reacted as
Lies.
he would react, with care
This guy's
and
such a
concern.
liar.
Perhaps he made the wrong decision in taking the injured man home. Perhaps you or I would have gone straight to the hospital. But remember, Mr. Guzman is an immigrant, an outsider. with an outsider's suspicion of big
I don't know. He
institutions.
mentioned he wanted to
My
take him to the
client
hospital.
Has lost a friend,
Yeah.
perhaps as the
But
result of
the
his
victim
own
said no.
mistake, and for
Yeah.
that, he will suffer
I
for
would
the
have
rest of
pointed
his
that
life.
out.
But does he deserve to go to jail? Good people of the jury, I beg you, let's not compound one error with another.
You know what? I think that was total bogus.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
bogus.
It definitely was.
That was a horrible closing argument filled with lies.
I think all we need to do is point out the lies, and we'll have a brilliant closing argument.
Okay, so actually, I don't think Jack.
I don't think we
can
can do that,
any
though.
of those lies. We need to sway the jury with facts and stay away from topics that might inflame cultural sensitivities.
Fine.
So he can't say anything like people of a Spanish background are they hate hospitals because they like seeing people die. It's like that would be horrible.
That would be mean.
And
I guess
that's not true either. 2 hour
guess
gap.
2 hour gap.
Yeah.
2 hours. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. 2 hours.
More than one.
2 hours. The time Neil Jenson was stabbed. Stabbed repeatedly. And the accused saw fit to do something about it. 2 hours of agony. Of
And he's
Mr.
not really
Jenson
looking at the
bleeding,
jury either.
losing strength,
He just can't stand
crying
looking at
for
people
help,
when he talks to
for
them.
mercy. But
I guess
there
not.
was
I think he
no
picked the wrong
mercy.
career then.
Not from Ricardo Guzman.
You should have been a telemarketer.
Definitely. Oh.
I guess we'll go with motive
Oh.
because cockfighting seems like
Yeah.
a
A bad idea.
The accused knew Neil Jenson well enough to understand the limits of their trust. If the victim had survived
Abby's not
the
really
attack,
paying attention at
there
this
she's
point.
just like,
questions. The story
Well, she's
would
bored
have come
because
out.
she knows we have this in the
Guzman's
bag.
illegal
We're gonna win no
operation
matter
would
what.
have been exposed. He would have faced prosecution or loss
She's on her
of
phone
livelihood
getting a
at the
text
very
message
least.
from Adam.
He had a lot
Probably.
to lose.
Adam, where
and
you
a
at?
lot to gain by
We were
doing
waiting for you to bring that
nothing.
evidence.
The legal community has a phrase for this behavior. Depraved indifference.
Oh, they do have a phrase.
None of us was in the slaughter.
Oh, they do.
Ricardo Guzman and Neil Jenson. None of us knows exactly what was going on through the mind of the accused as he watched his cohort writhe on the floor. We may never know exactly why he stood and waited. And waited. But we aren't being asked to judge Mr. Guzman's motivations. We're being asked to judge his acts. Or in this case, his failure to act. And
He
in this
did take
case,
the
I
guy
think you'll
home.
agree. Inaction.
Eventually, yeah, he did. So
After 2 hours.
he acted, but he
Does the
delayed
jury come to a verdict?
action.
We have, Your Honor.
Well, the cockfight
The
wasn't
charge of
over
murder
yet.
in the second degree.
Good point.
What do you find?
We find the defendant, Ricardo Guzman, guilty.
Oh, well, they did it for us. I like how she has pink nails.
Really matches her hair. Her crazy hair.
Yeah.
Got what he deserved.
Not much comfort to you, I'm sure.
It won't bring Neil back, but it gives me some closure. Will you be okay? I think
I
he'll
wonder
see
how
to
they
it.
did that. You know,
Right
her
on
talking to
schedule as
herself
always.
because they have the same voice actress.
That would be weird.
Know anyone who needs a nanny?
Mrs. Jensen let you go, huh?
Nah, figures. I'm just one more thing that reminds her of Neil. And God knows she got rid of all his other stuff. His
She
photo
does sound like Trixie.
albums, his collections of rare books.
Well, different people grieve in different ways.
Yeah, I think she'll be doing her grieving in Aruba. She bought tickets yesterday.
You don't suppose.
Turns around in the middle of
Bye.
the sentence and walks
Suspicious
away.
man, Curtis.
Goodbye.
For a little field trip tonight?
Nobody ever says goodbye in this game.
No.
So apparently it's suspicious that the widow is going to Aruba.
Well, it kind of is. I mean,
5 minutes to
she should be
2.
grieving,
Right on
not
schedule.
going on
I think
vacation.
that means.
Well, she's got a lot of money coming to her.
Good
She
point.
couldn't bring herself
Although
to give
supposedly
her
not,
rooster
'cause the
in
guy
the
wasn't
chicken
dead.
coop, but the rooster in the house is a different story.
Here we
I'm
go.
not sure I
Adam's gonna
understand.
show up here.
Yeah.
She went up
Right?
on the witness stand and told the court that she found her husband
Wait.
at 4 a.m.
But
I
she
see the
told us that
lawyers
her
and the
baby wakes up
detectives
at
Yeah.
the
and the
same
judge,
times
but
every
where's
Where's
day,
Adam?
and we heard the baby wake
He's
up.
gonna
at
like
the
come
same
from the
time.
back and
Isn't
just
it
part
possible
everyone.
that the baby could have also woken her up at 4 a.m.? We're
Maybe
talking
he was
about
hiding in the
baby
background. He's a little
You don't
short,
have
so
any
we
proof
can't
that
really
Ellie
see
Jensen
him.
is alive.
Yes, we can't see him.
Which is why we need a warrant to search her brownstone.
And just what are you hoping to find?
Mrs. Jensen mentioned that she installed a nanny cam in her nursery. Those things have timestamps on them.
She
They
might be
do?
lying or not, but the nanny cam always tells the truth.
Wait, why didn't they check
Fine.
the
I guess
nanny
they
cam
do.
earlier?
Confiscate the
Yeah,
nanny,
why didn't they
but
do that
only
before?
that.
I guess because they didn't have a warrant.
Why didn't they look to get a warrant? It's like, hey, we have a video which shows footage of the victim arriving at home,
Maybe
but
'cause
we
then
didn't bother to actually look at it.
2 a.m., Mrs. Jensen. Care to tell us why you waited so long
No
to call
question mark.
911?
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking straight.
Clearly.
I was just so mad. He promised me he was going to stop running around like a damn teenager, wasting our money and risking his stupid neck, all for the sake of his stories. He was going to calm down and be normal, a decent husband and father. He swore. I didn't want him to die. I just wanted to teach him a lesson.
I think he learned.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Not
Jury
it.
just came
Adam's
back
gonna
in the
show up
Jensen
here.
case.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Guilty. Man 2, 10 to 20.
Looks like PS 84 is going to have to find themselves a new principal.
Good work, gentlemen.
How about we grab lunch?
uh,
You still on that diet?
Nope, ditched the health food. And, Julia.
Right on schedule.
And I feel great.
Any preferences?
Nope, I'm up for anything.
Wait, what?
Chicken. For some reason
I don't
that
follow
doesn't
that
appeal to me
conversation.
today.
So he ditched Julia. Is that his wife?
Did he divorce his wife that fast? Is that what they're talking about?
Just because they didn't like the diet?
Yeah. That seems like a really bad reason.
And what happened to Ricardo Guzman now that
Yeah,
we
where'd
found
he
out
go?
that he's innocent of the charges? Let's hope he got a retrial, even though they didn't mention that at all. I bet
Yeah.
Adam was in charge of the retrial.
Yeah, I bet that's what happened. They just decided not to show that for some reason.
Yeah, it was a scene, but you know, they didn't want the game to be too long, so they had to cut it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, so what do you think about this game? Did you like it?
I like this game. I'm looking forward to buying it when I get money. Maybe.
Maybe.
As long as I don't get money when Phoenix Wright comes out.
Well, who knows
Did you
when
hear that?
Phoenix Wright is gonna come out?
It was possibly confirmed for release this autumn. On the iOS. Did you hear? I saw it on court records like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, hey, they can tell us the names here.
Oh look, there's Adam. He's right there.
Oh, hey. Hi, Adam. Where were you? Huh. Weird. So they had a voice for him.
Why did the jury form? Oh wait, no, she didn't talk. Never mind.
The jury
It's like, wait,
foreperson
she didn't talk.
She said we found the defendant guilty.
Yeah, I forgot she talked.
She did spend an awful lot of time just nodding. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of.
I understand you're learning how to play the Law and Order theme song.
I am.
You can play it on your piano.
On my piano on my iPad because I'm too lazy to actually go
Well,
play it on my
piano costs a lot more than this game does, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
A free one.
Oh, okay. No, but here's a sample of Diana playing the Law and Order theme song. Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun.
This song. It's this song.
No, I'm pretty sure it's dun 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 dun.
I could probably play that if you wanted me to, but
Okay, well, next time, I don't know if Diana's gonna be here or not, maybe I'll have another person commentate, but next time we go into the future.
Ooh.
So it's back in 2012, and we have 2 serial killers pointing the fingers at each other.
That's exciting.
Mike Logan shows up. Mike Logan
That's
assists, just like how, Adam really assisted a lot in this
Yeah.
case.
I was really impressed with him.
he was definitely the best character ever.
Definitely.
I'm kind of sad he only appears in the flashback cases, though. You know, he's not like one of the characters who appears in all the cases. Like Van Buren or Ray Curtis. Or Abby.
Mm-hmm.
I think also Jack. Did Jack appear in the first case?
I think he did. I think maybe once.
So I think those four are like the four characters that appear in every single case. Alrighty, so unless you have anything else to say about this case or anything, I think we should just say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Yep. Goodbye, everybody, and
bye.
Maybe we'll do case 3 someday.
Definitely should. Bye.
Bye.